In the world of sport, we have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was in the ashram living, I learnt a very important lesson. And that lesson was, think of yourself as a speck of dust on the ground. So you're not looking down on anyone, and you're learning from everybody.
That's right.
And the sum and substance of that was humility.
Correct.
Humility allows you to learn. But I work with athletes who have to walk onto a field thinking they're the best. You know, they have to have, some would use the word arrogance, some would use the word self-confidence.
Correct.
And humility and arrogance sit on the opposite ends of the scale. And sometimes moving between these two isn't the easiest thing. I've seen it
Correct,
myself.
correct.
I've seen it where those who are arrogant, their learning sometimes ceases to exist.
Yes.
And those who are so humble in learning are always learning and never good enough to compete.
Correct.
You know, how does one manage these two?
I would prefer to use the word self-confidence and humility.
Okay.
And how do we find balance between self-confidence and humility, wherein self-confidence you think you're the best and you still have the humility to learn. So your self-confidence doesn't go in the arena of arrogance.
Okay.
You know, so am I
Yeah.
kind of on the same page? Great. Now, when I talk about self-confidence, I talk about trying to be the best version of yourself. You know, we are constantly updating our apps. We are constantly updating our operating systems, whether it's an iOS or an Android.
Yeah.
And the updation of the apps or the operating systems means to bring the best versions of what exist.
Yes.
And whenever you're updating to a higher version of yourself, you have to be able to give the best of yourself to it. If you stick to the older version, you reach the plateau and you don't have to work harder. But when you update yourself to a higher version, you have to give the best of yourself and 200% of your energy there.
Yeah.
Hard work, coming out of the comfort zone. Which is why many times I say, you are your own competition actually.
That's true.
Nobody is your competition.
That's true.
We have to compete with ourselves every single moment, every single day to get better than ourselves, to get the better versions of ourselves, to get the best version of ourselves. So when I talk about self-confidence, I talk about being the best version of yourself and having that full confidence that I can crack it. I can get there. Now, just because you're the best version of yourself doesn't mean that you're the best in the world, doesn't mean that you're the best in the universe. As soon as you start thinking that you're the best in the world, self-confidence turns into arrogance.
Yes.
The thin line between self-confidence and arrogance is self-confidence just makes you feel I'm the best of myself, and arrogance makes you think I'm the best in the world.
In the world, yes.
Right? So when we are talking about humility, we're talking about keeping our minds, our hearts, and our consciousness open to learn
Yes.
from the people around us.